like, this is your daughter is worth a certain amount of property, and in order for me to secure her hand in marriage, I'm gonna secure that amount of property to be held in trust for her. So in case something happens to me, she is entitled. She's good. She's taken care of.
Okay. I like life insurance. So
yes, sir. Okay. Yes, sir. In modern society, that got flipped up because in Christianity, they switch it to patrimony, where when you got married, the man took all the property, right? But that's not marriage. That's not in legality right now. In gay situations, in homosexual relationships, you cannot reproduce a child.
There you go. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So homotrimony is a word I made up. It's the joining of two homosexual people. It will be the actual word for what a gay marriage is. Okay. Yes.
How'd you come up with that word?
Just etymology of
a man and a man,
yeah,
a woman and a woman.
Yeah, like so matrimony have the imony suffix on it, and so I took the homo prefix and added to the suffix.
Okay. All right. Well, and to me, I always say now that is true. I like what you say because it gives people an out who want to deal with it in either a legal way or a religious way. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So I like that, and it appeases them. The way I do it, I look at it. And I guess I always break down to its lowest common detail, or simplistic way to me, or, you know, you don't have a right to tell nobody who they can marry, because to me, marriage is just, and you know, the nation of God's and earth, and, you know, that's how I got my knowledge of self. So, I married my wife, and we have this debate and argument all the time. We just had this debate about her. She wanted me to wear a wedding ring, and I'm not wearing a wedding ring. And you know what I'm saying? And I say, this is my wedding ring. This is a ring. This is my yin yang ring, and it's the only ring I like to wear. And I say, but I love you. You know what I'm saying? So I'll put the love here. If that's what you want, this will be my wedding ring. But she wanted me to wear it on the wedding finger. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not conforming to these things. I don't even need. And when we get into arguments, like I could call her my wife all day. When we get into argument, then it's a difference. Like, you know, now where's the legal marriage? You feel what I'm saying? And I'm like, you know, you gotta respect the fact that I don't conform to these things, you know, which is a hard debate, you know, when you're in love, and she really conforms to that. But that's the way I see it. Like, you know what I'm saying? They can get married, and they legal people in the world, so they are together, and if they live together, they can completely avoid all that by doing a little bit of paperwork, changing their last name, and putting each other as their will and trust. Boom, now you're married. On paper.
See, but that's the whole thing that irritated Jeannie's talking about, right? So an aspect of it getting thrust upon us, right? Right. So if y'all remember, when Barack Obama was running the first time and Hillary Clinton was running the first time, they were talking. Everyone was cool with the concept of civil unions, right?
Yeah.
Y'all remember civil unions and whatnot? Right. So civil unions are a concept to where it's the same legal benefits as marriage. It's just not called marriage, right? And the gay community said no, not good enough.
I want the same thing that y'all got.
It's the civil union is 100% the same thing as a marriage.
Right.
100, no difference.
That's the same thing I'm saying.
They're saying no. We want it called marriage.
Marriage, right? We want the name.
And that's a different thing, right? So what most people don't understand about the argument is like, okay, at this point you are attacking culture. So like. Gay people weren't ever getting married. That was not like you were never in a situation to where you were producing children and having to provide property for said children in case one of you weren't around. That's not, you can't produce children. No offense to you, much respect to any love you can produce for each other, but you biologically don't produce children.
They can get you. Because they can now. They can take the DNA from two people and still produce a child. Now they won't produce it. Now, I think like if it's two women, one of the women can carry the baby, and then they'll hit you on that. But I get you.
Yeah, but even genetically, it's not both people's children. It's like it's the one egg, and then they need someone to fertilize it, right? If it's two women, right? So it's only one person's actual biological.
Well, hold on. We'll have to check into this, and that's something that we'll have to do when we do our bills, which is important to building on the knowledge. So I'll definitely want to check into this, and I think that there is a biological way that they have to give both sides.
That would be interesting.
It is.
But either way, civil unions would cover any offspring in that relationship.
Right.
because gay people can still adopt, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right?
Right.
So having children and having hereditary rights,
Right.
that's also still within civil unions or not. They were saying is no, we want that word marriage,
right?
And I'm not mad at them because
it's principle.
Everyone assumes that if you're not calling it marriage that it's less than, and it's like nah. No one's in the history of human society. People have never tried to have a legal union for homosexual people. So, like, civil unions was the best name they had for it. No one said, if they came out and said Homotrimony off the top and said, we have matrimony, Homotrimony, I bet money, the gay community would be like, oh, that's
it. They
with that.
Which is weird because I just feel like they want to be different. People, and this is not just for gays, but it's like everybody has this kind of yin-yang type of perspective to it. We want to be different, but at the same time, we want to be the same. I don't want to be left out on whatever privileges you have. Because like you said, civil union was the same thing. Just like I said, just go do the paperwork. But I think it's playing semantics. That's why I say, in the interest of somebody, like in an argument, I always say two people who get together in a relationship, there's always a debate and argument, and somebody's going to have to perform. You know what I'm saying? Somebody's going to not perform, submit to a degree, or give up or compromise to some degree.
Yeah.
And I say those words like submit and conform because that's how it's going to feel.
Right.
It's going to feel like that.
Right.
And to a degree it is that, so you have to accept that. And I think us, you know what I'm saying, meaning the heterosexuals, and I'm homophobic to a degree. Look, give it up. You know what I'm saying? They people, okay? It's not that big of a fucking deal. Now, I get the religious people, but I think your plan solve that problem. Okay, let it go. Now, what I'm saying in reference to it, I guess going back a little bit to Irritated Genie and us working with homosexuals like this. Now, I have a problem too, and I'm talking about my homophobia. This thing today, I just saw in the news about Trump and the bathroom thing that they reversed.
Right.
So I was tripping, and they had Caitlyn Jenner come out and holler at Trump. Look, man, look. I'm a little wheezy about this, you know what I'm saying? I think they should have their own bathroom. If it's that, you shouldn't have the right to go to any fucking bathroom. So if that's the case, then I should be able to go to any bathroom. Why can't I walk to the women's bathroom? I'm not going to touch no women. I'm just going to go to the fucking bathroom. And sometimes you ever have to go to the bathroom and the men's bathroom broke or something like that, and you look, so why can't I go, you know, and that's a man, especially if you still have man parts. So we got to get in those details, and they want all these rights and shit and want to be treated fair, but look, you got to treat us fair too. You know, just like it was a teacher and one more who busted off just telling or teaching his class, his elementary school class, came off my Facebook feed about homosexuals and some type of homosexual story. And, you know, obviously parents got outraged and upset, and rightfully so. Now, I agree that homosexuality has to be taught or explained to a degree, because I don't want children ridiculing children who have a mother and a mother and a father who come up or somehow they find out. You feel what I'm saying? And it should be explained because it's in the media, it's all throughout, they see it in TV and everything like that. But you gotta talk to us before you just start dropping knowledge on the kids, you know what I'm saying, about stuff, especially when it's as sensitive as homosexuality.
That's two things right there, though, right? So, like, on the one hand, the first thing you mentioned is about, I forgot how you said it, but bottom line, it's touching on the unintended consequence of it getting thrust in our face, right. or forcing a. And I don't feel any negative way about the fact that the law was changed or the definition was changed. I think it was incorrect in how it was done, but I understand it because it's never been done before, and people needed to start somewhere. So I don't have an issue with that, right? So got to start somewhere, right? But in enforcing this change of the definition of what marriage is and securing this special set of rights for LGBT people, like it's changing again, like the T part, the transgender bit, right? Like everyone thinks gay off the top, and they didn't think about how the transgender bit was going to get affected by this marriage definition change, right? But now, again, you're saying that this group of people who can't produce children are the same as these people who can produce children, right? Yeah. So follow the logic. I'm not a woman, but I can say I'm a woman. And get away with it, right? Like, so it's an unintended consequence of how they changed the law, and that technically does need to get addressed. And it's not hatred on homosexuality or transgender, but just like you don't want people telling you you can't do something, right? There's two types of freedoms. There's freedoms from and freedom to. My freedom ends at your nose. Your freedom ends at my nose, right? So my kid goes to a school, if I have a daughter and she goes to a school, and a boy goes into that bathroom, I got problems.
Right.
I don't care. If he thinks he's a girl, no issue with that. I have no issue with that whatsoever. I have an issue with him being in a vulnerable space with my kin. Right? I have no issue with what he thinks, feels, experiences, whatever. But like you're saying, if you feel that way, we need a third bathroom then.
Or I feel you have to submit in that case. If you the homosexual or the transgender, you should have to submit to the so-called uncomfortable feeling of being in a bathroom that you don't feel is your real bathroom because you made that switch. This is the general sense of the way things are supposed to be in our world. There's male and female, and we understand that. And you have made now homosexuality. Now, if this goes into homosexuality, the biggest argument on whether it's chosen or born in. Now, I used to be a chosen all the way down, but I have this knowledge in reference to how biology works and the anomaly of chromosomes, and so I'm assuming that there could be some anomaly that goes wrong, and you are attracted to males and stuff like that. So I accept it could be born in, but I believe it's a little bit of both. And so I'm giving you that right and understand that it can be biological, but transgender. To me, that's definitely I don't understand this. Maybe I'm wrong, and we're gonna have to talk about that. I guess whether or not you are born a man, I'm a man in a woman's body and all that type of terminology. That kind of throws me. So what I'm saying is that you have to, unfortunately.